The excretory system's purpose is to eliminate waste produced by homeostasis. The system consists of the liver, the ureter, the renal artery, the aorta, sweat glands, the bladder, and the urethra. Small ions, solutes, urea, and water enter the excretory system through hydrostatic pressure. Blood, filled with ions, solutes, water, and urea, is separated into clean blood and waste products in the kidney. The waste products from the kidney travel through the ureters to the bladder, which expands and sends nerve impulses when full. The bladder then ejects the urine from the body through the urethra. The nephron consists of the proximal tubula, the loop of Henle, the distal tubula, and the collecting duct. The proximal tubula regulates blood pH by reabsorbing bicarbonate through passive transport and secreting hydrogen through active transport. The loop of Henle carries filtrate to the medulla and then back to the cortex. Water exits the filtrate because of the low solute concentration of the filtrate. The blood then travels through the distal tubula, which regulates pH by the secretion of hydrogen and the absorption of bicarbonate, and the excess salt and water are reabsorbed, and excess potassium added to the filtrate. The collecting duct carries filtrate through the medulla and determines the amount of salt in urine by actively absorbing NaCl.
Imagine you are going to Six Flags. Your journey through the amusement park is not unlike the journey that blood takes through the kidneys. You're just another hardworking American, and you've got a lot of things to do today. But all the things in your life have made you so stressed out that you just have to get that stress out of your system. The stress in your system represents the waste that enters the blood after homeostasis. Just one ride you tell yourself as you enter the Six Flags, and you head directly to that one specific ride that caught your eye on the way in. This ride represents the nephron. You follow the long line until you're finally let onto the ride itself. The long line represents the renal artery/vein entering the nephron. You let the people in the car get out with their last few exhilarated shouts, cheesy park hats, and photo memorabilia. The people getting out of the cart represent NaCl, nutrients, and bicarbonate leaving the blood through active transport. And the shouts, cheesy park hats, and photo memorabilia represent H2O leaving through osmosis and potassium leaving through active transport. You quickly take a photo to remember this moment forever. This photo represents hydrogen getting into the blood. Then the ride starts, and you're traveling up the steep incline. All of a sudden, you plunge forward. This plunge represents the loop of Henle, and your screams are ripped out of your throat as you travel straight down the track. These screams represent water leaving through osmosis, which leaves the blood supersaturated. You try hard to keep breathing. With all the screaming causing air to leave your lungs, it feels like the ride is sucking all the air right out of your body. The feeling of sucking all the air right out of your body is the supersaturated blood. All of a sudden, you've entered the loop and you're traveling upwards again. This upward slope is the up loop of the Henle loop. You feel your hat falling from your head, and you glance back to see it flutter to a place where it is stuck inside the ride itself. The hat falling off your head represents NaCl leaving the blood through active transport. As you get to the top of the loop, you're stuck completely upside down, and you see the hats of even more people fall from the cart. And then you hear the screams of the passengers attempting to grab their hats as they fall. The hats falling off represent H2O leaving through osmosis, NaCl leaving through active transport, and bicarbonate leaving through active transport. Although the blood is rushing to your head and you feel faint, you quickly snap a picture to capture the moment. This picture represents potassium and hydrogen entering the blood. Potassium enters the blood through active transport, as does hydrogen. Then again, you're speeding back down the loop with even more bags and hats falling out of the cart. The bags and hats falling out of the cart represent NaCl leaving through active transport. And as you enter the final downhill ramp, you scream with joy. as you realize you survived. Your scream represents water leaving in urea. You really have to leave the park now because you have more important things to do, but you know you will be back soon. Leaving the park represents the urine exiting the body via the urinary tract.